Hi guys, welcome back to another daily HR vlog. In today's video, we're going to talk about what we have done in this week. I have been under the weather for 2 or 3 days, therefore I didn't make a daily vlog for the 20th and the 19th. Therefore today is the 21st, it is Thursday, and we are 4 days before payday. So the first thing that we prioritized for this particular week was payroll. That ensures that we capture people's overtime correctly, we capture people's sick leave correctly, we try to ensure that if people want to change their bank details, that is being captured. But all in all, payroll is sorted. We have checked the pay slips, we have checked changes in people's remuneration, and we are confident that we can start disbursing pay slips by tomorrow, which is the 22nd. So normally the 25th, or not normally, the 25th is on a Monday, but we don't want to have our staff get paid on a Monday. We'd rather release the money tomorrow, then they'll get paid tomorrow night or Saturday morning for the latest. The 25th is a little bit difficult to release pay because that means some people will get their pay on the 26th, which is against the employment contract, which states that people must get paid on the 25th. That's the first thing that we have kind of sorted. The second thing that we focused on was ensuring that the safety boots that we're going to issue to staff, everybody had a chance to fit on their boots. And I'd done another rerun, so whoever was uncertain or unsure regarding their size, they were able to fit on the boots again and just confirm once again the actual size. So we have just updated our sheet, which will be sent to procurement, who will then obviously get a quote, an invoice, purchase order, and then from there onwards we should obviously have the boots in a week or two's time. The third thing that we have also focused was ensuring that we update our absenteeism for the week, obviously informing MD, informing the managers in terms of who's absent today, also on any trends, on so forth, and then ensuring that we can manage production with the gaps in the absenteeism or in the staff who are obviously present today. It's always difficult trying to get the desired output when you have key people absent. Therefore, we try to ensure that we are a little bit innovative in what we do and how we get certain outputs throughout the day. The fourth thing that we can also confirm is that the 4 casuals that worked for us since last year have been made permanent. Obviously, they will get a casual payslip. They'll also get a permanent payslip. But the casual payslip is just to close off the month of April, whatever hours or days they have worked and haven't been paid yet. We're going to close that out, and then they'll obviously get a full month, full or permanent payslip for the month of May. So that means they'll get 2 amounts, the April amount and the full month of May. So that means from June onwards, it will just be 1 payslip or 1 amount that they can obviously now look forward to. That's obviously what we have done so far. So there are a couple of things, loose things that we focused on. That's obviously ensuring that the staff files are updated. We did pick up that a few people's contracts are outdated. It needs to be renewed. That obviously will be tackled. But staff files generally is an ongoing process where people bring their latest ID or new ID copy, tax number, updated bank details, or change of address. So that's an ongoing process that HR obviously tends to keep track of. Then I just want to open up my book and just see what else I'm missing. I don't want to now speak. Then we are going to have a meeting with all the supervisors today, because we kind of picked up a couple of overlapping roles and responsibilities with all the supervisors to ensure that people have clarity in their roles, because if there's an overlap of roles, no one takes accountability or responsibility if something goes wrong. So once we ensure that there's clarity on each individual's role, we know exactly how to pinpoint or troubleshoot should something go wrong, especially from a manufacturing perspective where there's a lot of variables that is taking into place. We need to pinpoint exactly where the deviation starts, and that deviation we couldn't obviously isolate because there were overlapping roles and people didn't want to take accountability. And I think just the important thing that I want to make note of regarding the 2-pot applications. Since this financial year, I had 15 or 16 2-pot applications from my staff, and all of them were successful. and that just kind of gives us a bleak picture in terms of the economic state of the country, the people's personal finances. And when I obviously asked them why you withdrawing from your two-pot, they obviously mentioned either they doing renovations, they want to pay a couple of loans, they want to close a couple of gaps in their personal finances. But I always advise against such, whereas the long-term knock-on of withdrawing of your two-pot every single year is that your total value will just decrease when it's actually time for you to retire. However, we also had an individual this week that actually didn't opt into the two-pot. So he was 55, just I think after the new regulations came into place. So therefore he had an option to either opt into the two-pot or you can stay on the old system. So I explained to him the pros and the cons between opting in and staying on the old system, where if you opt in, your money gets split into the different pots. The pro of the two pot is where you can get access to a certain portion of your money right now, but the long-term knock-on is where your retirement value will decrease. But the old system, the pro or the advantage is that when you do retire, you can obviously gain access to your money, or the full amount of your money depends on your taxable rate. So if it's more than 500,000 or 550,000, I think you pay a certain amount of tax or percentage. But if it's less than 500,000, I think you get the entire value tax free. Obviously the con about being in the old system is that you need to wait till retirement in order for you to kind of see the value and the benefit of your retirement fund. Because if you retire early, that 5 years or 4 years where you could have worked extra on could have made a big difference in compounding the actual value you have right now, maybe 2x or 3x the actual money. But I think that's it from a nutshell. Just double checking my notes, and I think, yeah, one last thing, very important. My sister has been working on our onboarding and induction process. I think we also want to improve on that. So when we do get a new employee into our factory or at our showroom, we want to ensure that we tick off all the right boxes. And a typical example would be, let's say we have an office worker that's joining our company. They must have the laptop, they must have stationery, they must have a mouse, they must ensure that they have a workstation, a desk, they must have training material, they must have a job description. So basically that's very important when it comes to onboarding and induction, because that sets the standard in terms of how you treat your employees and how they would obviously feel being at this particular new employer, because you want them to feel welcome, they want them to feel accepted and obviously being part of the actual company. So that's kind of important that we want to establish that. And from a factory perspective, when we have a factory worker that joins our organization, we must obviously ensure that they have the PPE. They need to meet their teammates or their colleagues, their workstation, what are they going to do, what are their deliverables, and so forth. So that's also a key differentiation between office worker and a factory worker. When I say factory worker, I do not mean like in general, like they are a general factory worker. I'm just using a factory worker in the sense that you get an upholsterer, you get a frame maker, assembler, but I'm just using the factory worker as encompassing a word just to describe those different trades and titles. But yes guys, that's it from what I've achieved this far for today and throughout the week. As HR, I'm quite happy payroll is sorted. Once I give out the pay slips out tomorrow, you will see the joy in people's faces, because that means they will now reap the rewards for the entire month of working and attending and giving the ideas. Yes, every day is not a rosy and not sunshine, but we do have times where we have a bit of a scuffle and staff have a bit of let me just call it a scuffle. Let's keep it for there. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching my video. Stay tuned for more updates like this. So the purpose of this particular video is to ensure that whoever wants to join or have aspirations to be in HR, you will never have the same job tasks on a daily basis. It varies from culture to operations to counseling, to admin. Yeah, so you're all over the place. So you have to wear different hats, and different hats require attention, effort, energy, and time management in order to be successful at every facet. Thank you very much.